Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. My name is Marissa from the Meraki Collective. I am a brand coach and website strategist. I go live on Mondays and Thursdays here on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook on Wednesdays. And on Thursdays specifically, we chat about all things branding, websites, social media. It's a Q&A Thursday. So if you have any questions, if you're watching live, feel free to pop in a question in the comments, or there's like little question cards that you can use. Other than that, I'm gonna get started right away. And today the focus is social media. I got a few questions about that. Here is what we are going to talk about today. Oh, I'm so fancy with my slides. So number one, what are lifestyle stock images? We're going to talk about what apps somebody asked, what apps should I use to post on Instagram? Question 3, what if I hate posting on social media? Question 4, what if my topic or business is too sciency or professional? How do I share about that? And question 5, which phone editing apps do you recommend? So this is where we're gonna start today. Again, thank you so much for being here. So let's start with question 1. What are lifestyle stock images? So if you watch any of my workshops online or if you worked with me in the past, you know that I am a fan of using stock images if you do not have your own personal brand photos, or if you've never worked with a photographer before. Excuse me. This is not awkward at all. Look, I'm gonna just go off topic a little bit here. I'm in Arizona, right? It is scheduled to be 108 degrees outside today, 108. I'm inside, obviously. I have the AC on and I'm wearing a sweater. I don't know what's wrong with me. Now I'm coughing on IG Live. You know what? We're just gonna roll with it. Okay, so stock images. I'm a fan of using stock images if you don't have like your own library, right? What are stock images? They can be professional photos, but these are photos that have been licensed for specific uses. They can be professional, like taken with a big camera, or not. So for example, I love, I'm a huge fan of unsplash.com. So websites like that, there's artists all over the world that upload their own work, their photography, their photos, for anybody to use on mostly anything that they want. So that's a stock image that has been licensed for a specific use. Not all stock images are free. Unsplash is an example of free stock images that you can use, but there are a lot of membership sites that even like Adobe has I forgot what it's called, but they have like a stock photo option through their service that you can use. So you pay for it and you can only use it in a certain way. So depending on what company you're using or what source you're using, these photos that have been taken by somebody else can be used a certain way or not. So this does not mean that if you find a photo like on Pinterest or on Instagram, it does not mean that you are allowed, that is not a stock image. You're not allowed to use those photos and claim them as your own or not give credit. It's a real tricky thing that I always, not caution, because that makes it sound like something so bad and scary. It's not. But that I always make sure that my clients or people that that are wondering, where do I start if I don't have any photos? I say, find stock images that are licensed for this use. So you can't, sometimes if you try to download if you've ever tried downloading an image and it's got like little lines on it and like the name of either the photographer or the company, that is a stock image that needs to be purchased, and so that you have the permission to use. So those are stock images. The question was, what are lifestyle stock images? Lifestyle stock images are basically images that they have a more lifestyle feel about them. So you'll find a lot of stock images, they're very kind of uptight and corporate feeling, and just like, in my opinion, like overly professional, where there's like a woman on a desk, and it's just like too perfect. So lifestyle stock images they just feel more natural. They feel more raw. They feel something that, like if you had a photographer taking pictures of you and your family or you at work, like candid images, it's a little bit more like that. Hi, Anandi. Thank you for being here. So let's move on to question 2. Question 2 is, what apps should I use to post on Instagram? So I will recommend what I have used before. There are lots of apps, lots of options out there. I have used Later and I have used Planoly. I love both. I currently use Planoly. I think I'm saying that correctly. The reason I switched over from Later to what I'm using now, and this may have already been fixed. They may have already upgraded this. When I would upload a photo to the app to see how it would look on my feed, not a photo, a video, they wouldn't let me show like the thumbnail that I wanted to use. And I am a very visual person and I wanted to see exactly how the feed was going to look. So on Planoly, I can do that. I can upload a video and I can see the thumbnail, like the image that your viewers will see. I can see that on Planoly. Like I said, they may have already changed that, but that's one of the reasons I switched over. I also felt like Planoly was just like a little easier for me to use. But like I said, both are great. There are many options out there. Those are the two that I've used and I would recommend. Both, I believe, still have free options. So if you are just starting, check out one of those options. Sign up for the free option and see which one works good for you. Let's move on to question 3. What if I hate posting on social media? Girl, okay. That's okay. If you hate posting on social media, then don't post. Like if it makes you so unhappy, then don't post. But, and this is a big but, if you are wanting to use social media for your business, then you have a decision to make, right? If you want to use social media to grow your business, Instagram in particular, and you're like, but I hate it, well then do you really want to grow your business on Instagram? Or do you just want it to be easy? I know that that's harsh. I know that that's a little bit like, I don't know if it's like a slap in the face, but it's some real talk, right? If you wanted to get a certain result and you knew that the steps that you had to take to get a certain result were steps 1, 2, and 3, and you're like, but I hate step 1, 2, and 3. That's fine. Nobody's forcing you. Don't do steps 1, 2, and 3. But then if your business is not growing and you are saying it's because I don't use social media, well then homie, use social media to grow your business. It's just one of those things, it's a decision you have to make. The key is to learn how to use social media in a way that serves you, that makes you feel comfortable, that works for you, that doesn't take over your life. If you hate, another thing to consider is, why do you hate posting on social media? Do you hate posting pictures of yourself? Well then don't post pictures of yourself. Do you hate spending so much time on social media? Well then section off certain pockets during your day, or one pocket during your day to use it. So consider those things. I hope that helps. Hi, Octavia. Thank you so much for being here. And Danny K. Cola. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm so sorry. Thank you for being here. Let's move on to question 4. What if my topic or business is too sciency or professional? How do I share about that? The biggest suggestion I can give you is to consider what your ideal client wants to see. So if your topic is too sciency, let's say you are, I don't know what would be super sciency. I think this question came from somebody who's like studying herbs and stuff. So, and she said she had mentioned that like she loves getting into the science and the background of those things, and she was worried that it was going to be too sciencey and like just too boring, that she was going to bore her audience. So if your audience is a new audience in this topic, and this big topic that you're covering, are there ways that you can break it down for them, either in the caption or using like visual imagery, like on your photos, maybe like using graphs or like memes even. Like there's ways that you can use to make it simple. If you're talking to somebody who's advanced in your field, who knows what they're talking about, like let's say if you are an herbalist, I hope I'm saying that correctly, and your clients are other herbalists, well then it's fine. Make it even more sciencey, because y'all will understand each other. And that's what they want to see. That's why they're following you, right? So the biggest thing for that is, if you're concerned about it being too sciencey or even too professional, are you going to talk to people who are brand new in the industry? In that case, find ways to make it more simpler. Find ways to break down big ideas into smaller chunks. But if you're talking to a professional in your field, well then don't worry about it. They'll totally understand it. Part of that question was like, what if it's too professional? So like if you're a lawyer and you're serving other lawyers, don't worry about having too much big lawyer talk. Like, it'll be fine because your ideal client will understand that. If you're serving people who are totally new, like they have no idea about your services, well then you'll have to find ways to break that down and chunk down those big topics. Moving on to question 5. Which phone editing apps do you recommend? There are 2 that I have used frequently. One is Color Story. I believe they have certain overlays or actions, like filters that you can add to your photos. None of those are probably the correct name. And you can purchase them. So they have in-store, in-app purchases available. I'm not sure if you have to pay for the actual app, but A Color Story is the app that I'm talking about. There's so many different things you can do there. But the biggest one that I would recommend, and it's free to download on your phone, is Lightroom for mobile. It's free, it's easy to use. You can save your edits and apply them to different photos. So the photo that I will use for this live to put on IGTV, you'll see like a thumbnail. If you go to if you're watching the replay, that photo was taken on my phone and I edited that photo in Lightroom. And then I just added my copy, my words, and then I posted it as my thumbnail for this live. All right, those are the 5 questions for Q&A Thursday. Thank you so much for being here. If you are watching the live or if you're watching the replay, I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. If you have any questions, personal branding, websites, or social media, please let me know in the comments below, or you can find me at themeraki-collective.com. Again, I am Marissa. I'm one half of the Meraki Collective. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see y'all next week. Bye.